Writer's block is something that can prevent people from moving forward with the content that you're creating. And I'm a multi-time best-selling author. I've learned a lot over the last couple of years, so let's break down how you can navigate this to get back on track. Now, if you're somebody who has been doing really well with your writing, whether it's fiction, nonfiction, or content for social media, and you hit this one tiny wall, you're just having trouble in one area, what I want you to do is step away from your writing for a few minutes. It doesn't even have to be very long. You can go for a walk, you can pace around the kitchen, you can go for a drive, go get some ice cream, come back and try again. If that's still not going to work for you, that time removed from it, now I want you to step away a little bit more. I want you to do something creative that keeps your mind engaged, but is not that specific writing. So you can actually write something else. If you're writing fiction, try a side story from another character's perspective, or rewrite a scene from that other character's perspective to use as a bonus scene. If you're doing something in the nonfiction space, go to the next chapter, or go to something else that you can use as a freebie along with the book. Use some other type of writing to get back to where you were with the writing that you're struggling with. Now, if you don't want to do it in the writing realm, try something else creative. This could be a photo walk or a photo shoot. This could be taking a pottery class. Anything that's creative is going to do well for you. So even if you're going to act out a scene with somebody, or you're going to watch a movie, something creative is going to work well and keep you in the right mindset to get back to your writing later on. So that temporary block is going to be a little bit different than your longer term block. Now let's just say you're struggling with your book. You're struggling and it's not happening for you. This could mean that it's the wrong project for you right now. It might be appropriate to shelf that and to come back to that at a later time and work on another project. This can be a short project or a longer project, and we can also get into the other creative assets as well. So go do your photo walks, go do your pottery class, go do something that's going to help you. But you may need to step away from that project for a longer period of time, more than just a couple hours or a day or two. You may need to set that book aside and come back to it a few months from now, or even years from now. Just because you're writing something right now doesn't mean you have to finish it right now. It may not be the right project for this moment for you. It doesn't mean you have to abandon it, but it does mean you need to step away for a little while so that you can work on something else and come back to it later on. Now, another thing that you can be doing is working on multiple projects at once. I don't recommend this too strongly for people because it can be really hard to get 2 projects done. If you're constantly putting effort into this, and then this, and then this, and then this, it takes forever to get either of them done, instead of focusing on one and getting it done, and then focusing on the other and getting it done. But you do have the ability to do this. So in the shorter term, you absolutely can be working on 2 different books and working here. When you hit a wall with this one, bounce over to this one for a while. When you hit a wall with this one, bounce back to this one. Again, it takes you longer to build up both of those books, but you have the opportunity to get them both done and a creative outlet that you can be working on inside of your writing life without stepping away from it entirely. Now, beyond that, if you're struggling with your book, if you really can't get into it and you really want to get into this, what I would recommend is getting a developmental editor. You're going to want to hire somebody to actively come into your story and help you structure it in a way that's going to move you forward. This is going to be really, really good for finding the errors and the issues and what needs to be driven forward. Sometimes we can be so close to our work that we just don't understand how we can navigate and get around a little bit of it. And when we have somebody else who's outside and more objective focus us in, that can help dramatically. Now, another thing that I want to point out is that it could be your writing style. You very well could be writing something and it's just not the right style for you. There are plotters and pantsers and planters. Plotters are people who list every single bullet point and know exactly what they're going to write, so they never hit writer's block because they already know what they're writing. Pantsers are people who figure it out as they go, and those people tend to deal with writer's block more. So you want to find something that's going to work for you. I've got lots of tutorials over on youtube.com/KMRobinsonBooks from different authors showing you their writing styles and processes so that you can go and pick little pieces of that to figure out your own strategy as you are writing. So you want to make sure you're looking into that as well. But if you are struggling with writer's block, it probably means that you're pantsing more than you should be, and you need to step back, reevaluate what you're doing, and actually plot your book. So when you sit down and you figure out all of those bullet points, start to finish, you know what you're going to be writing. You never have to wonder or worry about what you're going to write because it's already there. So I recommend to you to change your writing style and see if this works well for you. Try it for a book or 2 books or 3 books and see if it works well for you. Know exactly what you're doing start to finish before you ever start to write, or stop where you are right now and finish the rest of the book by plotting it out. Then all you have to do is write the scenes in between the bullet points. You don't have to guess because it's already there. And again, a developmental editor can strongly help with that. So bring other people into it and get opinions on that as well so that you can get that structure and strategy. Writer's block is something you learn to get around the more you develop your writing skills. So as somebody who's been in this industry for a lot of years now, I don't deal with writer's block. I am very able to get around it. But there will always be some people who hit little walls. Even if they are the most skilled writers in the world, they may hit the smaller walls, and then they're going to need to step away for a short period of time and come back to it. But you're not going to have those big writer's blocks the more you become a developed writer. So the more you do this, the more you train yourself, your body, your spirit, your mind, to actually be able to move forward, to predict some of these things and be able to work around it. So beginner writers tend to deal with this a little bit more than the experienced writers, and you will learn and grow how to navigate around that as you go the more that you do it. So just be aware there are lots of resources that you can use, a lot of ways you can step away, a lot of things that you can do just to get your mindset back in the right space so that you can continue on with that project. But you really have to evaluate what's working for you now and what's going to work for you in the future, and then lean into it. This is trial and error. You're testing, you're learning, you're educating yourself, and you're growing your strategy from this point so that you can move forward with the rest of your writing. If you got more questions on writer's block or the writing world, go ahead and drop them down below.